What's up, everybody? The Destroyer here. Welcome back to another cast of the RotWK patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 2v2v2v2 on Tournament Hills, but this is something a little different. They've gone random spots. So I believe they use the map that picks random spots or something. And so some of the teams may not be next to each other, which could make this interesting to say the least. I do have a list, of course, of who is on what team, so I don't have to wing it here, because that would just be really frustrating for everybody. So we have Aber here is the Dwarves, and his ally for this match is... Let me go back to observing no one. His allies for this match is Hombre. There's Mordor over here in this corner. So these two are together. We have this player here, Phantomas, is the Dwarves, Phantomas 90. And his ally for this match is Bastion, who is over here in this corner as Mordor. So they are not next to their allies whatsoever. An unfortunate turn of events for them. We have this player down here, Checkmate, as Mid of the West. His ally, fortunately for him, is right next to him. And his ally is Jornev, who is very good, in fact. So, he should be well off. Jordan, of course, is Mordor, if I didn't mention that. Of course, you could see that, but there you go. And the last team is Viva as Goblins, and his ally is also close to him. Luckily for him, is Z, as Mid of the West. I don't know who Z is, but he's there. He may go by a different name, or maybe he always goes by Z. I don't know. But yeah, interesting. So we have some strange spotting. These two, these two, these two, and these two. Or these two, rather. Yeah, a little confusing. So this one might be hard for me to even keep up with. But hopefully it'll be good nonetheless. The best players in this match, I would say, would be Viva, Jornev by far. I don't know who Z is, like I said. And Hombre is pretty good as well. The rest of the players are pretty good also, but, I mean, they're not their level, I don't think. So, we'll see what goes on. Alright, so Hombre is sending some orcs towards the base of Phantomas here, the Dwarven player. I'll begin raiding that. Looks like he's also going to take this outpost. There are outposts, of course, in the corners of Tournament Hills. And it looks like lime green player Jornev, the Mordor player, and the Goblin player Viva, of course, the brown player, are going at it here. Viva does control this outpost. And they're beginning to send spam at each other wildly. Since they're right next to each other, it should just be a spam fest, which is always fun. Bottom right corner looks like has been taken by the gray player, which is Checkmate, the Men of the West. And that will be contested, or maybe not, by Bastion, Mordor player, the blue Mordor player, who is going for trolls. Interesting. That could pay off in a big way. We'll see. Alright. So the Men of the West player, Z, the teal player, he's got 3 battalions of swordsmen there, causing the dwarves, of course, to destroy one of his mine shafts. Aber, of course, is the dark green player. Looks like Z is just going straight soldier spam, but he is transitioning into archers as well, and he does have this outpost here, which will definitely be helpful. Hombre seems to hold this outpost pretty nicely, and he'll be going in for another attack here against Phantomas. Soon enough, I have no doubts. Phantomas is probably going to have a bit of trouble. He has very few troops, and dwarves, of course, are just hard to defend with in general, especially against spam. Spam, you could be everywhere. Without a battle wagon, I believe Phantomas will just die, honestly. It looks like we have some Mordor cavalry there, some Haradrim Lancers for Jornev there. Very good choice. That should help with the small little battalions of Goblin warriors that he's having to face, that his orc warriors are having troubles with. With any luck, he'll be able to grab that outpost as well. Viva is definitely going to have a tough time on his hands. And we'll see. He has made a spider pit, and he's going for spider riders, it looks like. Not a bad choice by any means. Spiderlings are good too, but spider riders are better, obviously. So, I wouldn't say it's a bad choice. And it looks like the Storm player Aber is getting absolutely wrecked by this amount of swordsmen from Z. So things could be over very quickly for Aber here. And I would guess to say that is the case. And of course his ally is nowhere near, so you cannot send aid to him very easily. As his ally is over here, and he's over here. So I think Aber's going to die here. Undoubtedly. He is making an attack here on the base of Z, though. Z does have a Faramir on the field. And I think he should be just fine. Looks like he did lose his barracks, but that's really no big deal, is it? He also might lose his archery range here as well. Actually, it's going to be close. Oh, he does manage to save it, and the rebuild goes down just in case. Very nice. Look at all them goblins. Viva having spider riders. Very nice indeed. Definitely should help out. Help out immensely, in fact. There is Gondor archers and orcs, and I think they will do nicely against those. They'll even do nicely against these Haradrim lancers, I believe. Pretty sure spider riders outclass Haradrim lancers, if I'm not mistaken. Got Gondor knights here from Checkmate. Got a nice charge there off of Bastian's archers. Bastion does have a troll. But I'd say Checkmate's army is pretty solid. It's got some pikes in there, a bunch of soldiers, and some archers there. With cab support, should do fairly nicely. So Checkmate has placed a well in his ally's base so he can heal up his Haradrim lancers, which is always advisable. Of course, if the spider riders aren't actually focusing the Haradrim lancers, they won't beat them in combat. Yeah, they're actually doing pretty well. I mean, granted, they did get a head start. The Lancers did, but I don't know. Maybe they will beat them in one-on-one combat. Just because there's more of them, maybe? Who knows? And of course, he can run those back and heal them up when he needs to, which is really nice for him, of course. We even got some Gondor soldiers over here. Which, of course, is the ally of this Goblin player here, is Viva. This is Z's troops. In case you've forgotten. I'm reminding myself, pretty much. Because I do have it written down next to me, just because I wouldn't be able to remember all this, but since you guys do not, I will keep emphasizing who is who. Because it can be confusing in these kind of games, I realize. This troll seems to be doing nicely, though, but it's going to get burst down by archer fire, it looks like. Unfortunately, before he gets to smacking the archers. Checkmate does have a Boromir on the field now. Should be pretty saucy. Once he gets him level 2, of course, that horn will be raging. But Viva is taking a beating here. He's losing all of his goblin caves, and that is definitely not good. It looks like Jornev's going straight for the spider pit as well. Going to bring that down very quickly. He does have Easterlings in there, which do pretty good building damage with their pikes. Z has sent some support, though. He sends archers and Athelian rangers, as well as Faramir. But he is not going to be in time to save the spider pit, unfortunately. These will rebuild, of course, if he can keep them alive. Oh dear, look at this. Demolisher. A green Demolisher, which is... that is from Aber, actually. Aber did not die, in fact, and he managed to get a Demolisher next to the fortress of his Dwarven counterpart in the north. Well, opponent, rather, not counterpart. And that thing is deployed. That is going nowhere anytime soon. I believe those are Phantomuses. I think Phantomus is toast. Demolishers, while they are deployed, are just incredibly tanky and a bit OP. Let's put it that way. Once they deploy, you need like Cav or some sort of knockback thing, or Eagle or something to get rid of that. And of course, he is none of that. So Dwarves are, or heroes. Heroes are good too, but that thing is going nowhere anytime soon. And of course, the Mordor player Hombre trying to save him. No, he's actually helping with the attack. Hombre is the ally of Haber. So both of them are taking down Phantomus. And it looks like Phantomus will be out of the match here very shortly. Meanwhile, it looks like Hombre's base is being raided by a bunch of orcs from Bastian's base there. Battle wagon coming in from Aber to help clean up the orcs a bit. Viva's trying to get back on his feet here. He does have some spider riders still on the field. And his ally Z is doing well, keeping him alive as well. Starting to get his goblin caves up, getting another one, it looks like, not so well, from his ally. But Mordor is bringing in the trolls and stuff like that. So his orcs and leechlings will get leadership, and ooh, Azog does fall, unfortunately. Viva lost his Azog. It sucks for him. And Jornev is keeping the pressure on with his orcs. Ooh, arrow volley going down, or long shot probably. Jornev doing a good job of avoiding that completely. Very nice indeed. You can do that, of course, by hitting the X key, and that will split up your selected units, if you didn't know that. We have Black Riders out for Hombre. Very, very, very good units. If you can keep Black Riders up past level 2, they generally will never die. It feels that way. It's not entirely true, but they're very hard to kill. When not used like idiots, of course. Which is what I always do with them. But if you can keep them alive, they tend to live for a long time because they will regenerate past level 2. And they're just hard to kill in general. But it does look like Checkmate does have a pretty solid defense here of his trebuchet. And he's just going to bring Bastion down from range. I don't think there's much Bastion can do about it, honestly. Although Bastion is pulling his forces back. Bastion, of course, is the... not Bastion, Checkmate, rather, is the great player. He's the ally of Jornev. He's pulling his army back here. Maybe he's worried about Jornev's base. And for good reason, I'd say. As Z and Viva are pushing in on him. Mainly Z, but Viva is here too as well. There's some Spider Riders and some Goblin Warriors there. Bombadil is here also, kicking ass, dancing his way to victory. And Jornev might be in trouble here. See if Checkmate's army is enough to push him back. He does have Boromir. Is he level 2? He is indeed level 3. So he will have the Horn of Gondor to be used. If he clumps him up enough, he might get a nice long shot or something if he has it. Unfortunately, it does not look like he does have long shot. For some reason, his archers are still shooting. Why did they have fear resist? I genuinely have no idea. They're only level 2. They shouldn't have fear resistance. Unless there's something giving it to them that I'm unaware of. As far as I can tell, though. Shouldn't be. Leadership doesn't give you fear resistance. I know not. Down goes a long shot. Will Z get out in time? Didn't really, but he didn't take too much damage. Was not super effective. And it looks like the player Phantomas has been cleaned up here. He actually is out. Bastion's out of the game as well. His base finally being killed off by Aber and Hombre there. That makes things easier to keep track of, doesn't it? So now we have Hombre and Aber versus, of course, Z and Viva, which is south of him, against Checkmate, which is his player, and Jornev here. That's what's left so far. I did see a Mumakil pen being thrown down somewhere. I think it was Hombre's base. Yes, indeed. He's also upgrading it to level 2, maybe in level 3, so he can get faster Mumakils, I guess. Which is never a bad idea, but most people don't bother with that. It does make it harder to kill as well, which is never usually a bad thing. They do have to be very careful of Aber's Demolishers, though, because that could bring their fort to its knees easily. Mumakil pit, or pen being thrown down by Jornev as well. So we will see some gigantic Olifants in the game shortly, which is always nice. I do love me some Mumakils. If I had to put money on a team to win this game so far, I would put my money, without looking at PowerPoints right now, on probably Hombre and Aber. Aber doesn't seem like he's very strong right now, but he does have Zealots. He does have Brand as well. And he's the one running around with Demolishers, which really could seal the deal. And Hombre has Black Riders and a lot of orcs and such. He's got a lot of land as well. Plus he'll have the Mumakil out soon. I think just they know what they're doing. But of course Viva's a pretty good player. A very good player, in fact. He knows what he's doing as well. But he's definitely been struggling against Jornev, who is also a very good player. Jornev knows what he's doing also. I don't know. Could go either way. But I would bet my money on the top team. If I were a betting man. Here comes Z's army. Z's Boromir is level 1, unfortunately for him. No leadership or horn to be used. He does have the marketplace, though, which is always nice. And there we go. We have our first Mumik out on the field. Very nice indeed. It's just so cool. It's just so big. Look at that fucking thing. It's huge in comparison to everything else in this game. I love it. It's like having a walking blimp. I don't know. No, not quite that big. Sounds like an undermine has gone down. Looks like it knocked the army of Z on its butt, doing a bit of damage to his archers and such. Looks like a lot of them did die there. That could be, of course, the Zealots doing the damage. Should be very fair. Look at the Zealots go. Their HD texture looks pretty nice, actually. The HD texture patch from Rider of Rohan for Rise of the Witch King. Definitely recommend it. And here comes the Mumikil with the Mumik. We also, I guess we could take a look at PowerPoints here while we have time, eh? Oof. Archery fire being returned. Slam shots and such being exchanged. Checkmate to the men on the west player in the south east. South right is what I almost said, which sounds stupid. He has Tom Bombadil, Hobbit allies, heal, rally call, 4 power points, 607 of 835 command points right now. Jornev, the player next to him, who of course is his ally, has Tainted Allegiance. Why do he have Untamed Allegiance? I can literally think of no reason to get Untamed Allegiance unless there goes down a power tree that he needs to go down. Because there's nothing to take in this map. Oh, he took the white layer to make barrow whites? I mean, barrow whites aren't bad, but unusual. Anyway, he's got that. 9 power points. I have Sauron, Tainted Land, in 565 of 625. Z, the middlewest player up here, who's currently running away from a Mumikil charge. Luckily getting away. He has himself Tom Bombadil heal, rebuild, rally call, 11 power points, or 12 rather, 484 of 750. Viva, his goblin ally, has himself 15 power points. I'm going to Dunland, War Chant, 396 of 525. Mumikil does fall there, unfortunately. Sad day indeed. Oh, I just missed a Gorgoroth Spire. That sucks. It looks like there's a lot of bodies. A lot of rangers. Anyway, Hombre, the guy who just fired the Gorgoroth Spire, has himself Industry, War Chant, Tainted Land, 13 power points, 779 of 925. And his ally has Undermine, of course. Rebuild, Heal, Rally Call, 3 power points, 642 of 775. And we already looked at his. Go back. There we go. So nobody's up to a 25-point power yet. But I'm sure it'll happen eventually. There we go. Demolisher was taken out. Very nice. Solid defense from Z. He does himself Aragorn as well. Aragorn and Boromir in there should do pretty nicely. Faramir as well, of course. I found it was noted to me that it's not always a good idea to use your experience-giving abilities like Captain of Gondor, because your troops end up giving a lot more experience and power points to the enemy when they're killed. So that is something you have to keep in mind. Like, giving it to Wildman Axors is actually a bad thing, I'd say, according to Brabox. And he's the one who's actually revamping the experience system, so he would definitely know. Definitely something to keep in mind. I'd still use it anyway, just because I'm a boss, but maybe not always a good idea to use. So I won't shit on people so much when they don't use it. Jordan's Mumikil is going to fall. And as you see, Rangers and Fire Arrows, definitely the way to take down a Mumikil. For those of you who say Mumikil are overpowered, they're unstoppable, they're really not. you just need archers. And they fall pretty fast. Fire drakes are a good counter, flying units are a good counter. There's actually a decent amount of counters to move kill, but you do have to be very, very careful, as they will just completely wreck your shit if you're not careful. As you see here, this one is seeming to do that. And look at those. The siege is actually bringing it down quick. Very nice. But the base of Checkmate is getting ravaged by this worm in conjunction with this Mordor army. Look at this, black orcs with heavy armor. Interesting. Yeah, kind of cool. We also have Haradrim archers with black iron fire arrows and armor. Mordor is armored and ready for battle. Jornev is just, not Jornev, Checkmate is just losing a lot of buildings. Actually lost his Boromir there. The Black Riders. Black Riders are great at killing heroes. Excellent at chasing down Elven heroes, especially, I'd say. As Elven heroes are very quick, and they tend to get away. Black Riders are a great counter to those. If you can get Black Riders against Elves, you'll have a much better time. And Jornev has actually been defeated here. Looks like experience has been given to the army here of Z as well. Deadly from Faramir. He is using Captain Gondor rigorously. Checkmate has been defeated as well. Looks like he has given up, knowing his ally's dead and he was not doing well. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. Now that leaves two teams here. We have Z and Viva versus Aber and Hombre. And I'd still venture to say that Aber and Hombre have the advantage. Z has himself Cloudbreak. Viva has the Worm, of course. Hombre has the Worm too. And we don't have anything really awesome for Aber yet. He has Undermine ready to use though, which is it's awesome in itself. You can summon it down in 2.02 and it does give you, it acts like a farm. It gives you resources, as well as just using Tunnel Network. It's pretty nice. Also, if you summon it under these trebuchets, it'll insta-kill them. Just like a Watcher would or something, which is always good to do. That's how I generally like to take care of enemy siege, when I have some sort of thing that bursts out of the ground and deal with that. But it's also good for doing that to armies also, as you might imagine. I think the armies of Hombre are going to be pretty strong here. If he upgrades all these troops with armor and forged blades like he is, and then he'll have fire arrows on his Haradrim archers, which are pretty good as well, and he has catapult support. Although you have to be very careful with your catapult support, or else that'll happen. He'll overpower the goblins easily. Black Orcs are pretty good, especially when you give them upgrades. They generally, see, they survived a Goblin Spider Rider charge. Of course, they were debuffed with an Nazgul, but still. Let's see how Z's attack here on Aber is going. I mean, it would be possible for Z to take Aber out, I would believe. The Zealots are getting ravaged, but a lot of Z's forces are dead. Although he does have himself Aragorn still. He still has Boromir, but he's deciding to retreat. The fort is very well defended as well. So a mighty catapult might have been fired right there. Didn't see it, but it probably happened. It's venture to say it did because it's on cooldown. Keep you laid out. I love the voices of the what the fuck are they called again? Zealots. I was about to call them Vigilance. Why on earth would I call them Vigilance? Playing too much Skyrim, I guess. Vigilance of Stendar. Ooh, nice Spider Rider army there from Viva. Nice run-throughs on the Haradrim archer lines. Trampling them. Also, the orc. Black orcs there as well. As they're not holding pikes, they're still just as vulnerable. Upgraded or not, they fall like wheat. And Viva's army easily cleans that up without upgrades. So he will do very well if he keeps up doing well with his Spider Rider cav. Because they're just doing work. They may survive a charge, but they don't survive an attack. So the Black Orcs will be pretty much nullified without Ishling support. There's the Horn of Gondor from Boromir. Oh, he was actually Morgul bladed. And now he will go down fighting. A man's death. Oof. turned into a white, and the Black Riders go to level 8. They do have their Screech ability as well. It's just level 7, which causes enemies to flee in terror. And you see Aragorn is dying very quickly. As I said before, Black Riders very good at killing heroes. They're level 9 now, if you can believe that. They should really go for this Faramir, and they will indeed. Faramir will not get away. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Wow. They almost, like, one-shotted half of his health away. That's insane. I think it's because he took flanking damage, and then he turned around too quick and died. But, yeah, that just shows the strength of Black Riders. Definitely employ them into your arsenal when you can, because they are amazing. And, of course, they regenerate, making it very, very, very strong. Oh, man. It's got to be hard to deal with. And of course, Hombre now has pretty much the entire right side of the map. It's going to make things incredibly hard for Viva and Z to take them out. Viva's doing well with the Spider Rider army. But the rest of his army, I'm not sure. Where is it? Is it all in the tunnel? Well, if you call that an army, I suppose. He doesn't really have much other than the Spider Riders, unfortunately. And Z has very little. He just lost all, pretty much. Brian is getting ready for a slam shot. I can see him. Ooh, beautiful slam shot. That hit a lot of them. They grouped up at the wrong time. Brown took advantage. I think it's only a matter of time before the force of Z is overwhelmed in Viva. But we'll see. They could make some miraculous comeback, but if I had to guess, probably not. There's a barricade being summoned in by Hombre. It has been suggested by a few people that barricades have too much health. I'd happen to agree with that. They are too hard to kill. And that may be addressed if there is ever another patch. But we'll see. Without Excelsior. I believe the patch is gone to Bravox. And I don't know exactly what he's got going, so we'll see. You may see a patch in the near future. Not near future, but future. But I don't know. At least the patch we have now is pretty good. So I'm happy with that. And there is a fairly sizable force from Hombre. Did he use Fear a little bit too soon? He might have. The Spider Riders did not get much done there. With Black Riders level 10, he's gonna have such a hard time. He should use more Easterlings, though, I think. I mean, Black Orcs are great, but if the armies are using Easterlings, or Cav, you should probably have a little bit more Easterlings. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. At least the Goblins have that in their arsenal. Balrog has arrived, destroying the army of Hombre. His Black Riders are still alive, though. He'll get those out of there, of course. Ooh. Very nice indeed. And while one team is seemingly behind, one 25-point power could swing things away in the other team's favor, of course. As tends to be with BFME too. So we'll see what happens. He's using the Balrog to attack the Mumakil. Interesting. I don't know if it's a wise decision to keep going for units with the Balrog. Really should go for the base, but at the same time, it's pretty far away. He may not get much damage done. So maybe that is the best use of Balrog. Looks like a worm was summoned in to defend against the armies of Z. And now Z will pull back, and Aber will hold his ground. And the Black Riders of Hombre will keep healing up over here as well. See if anyone else has any 25-point powers. Z has some Dune allies, which of course is not a 25-point power. Viva has summoned in a worm to deal with the Mumakil pen. A good choice. Balrog did indeed make it over here. So Viva's got pretty good powers. That's the benefit of being Goblins. You get power points very quickly, regardless of whether you're doing shit or not. Just because Goblin Warriors attacking anything will get you power points. So if you're sending out spam, They tend to get their power points quickest, I think, Goblins do. And of course they have, I'd argue, the best power set in the game. They have Balrog, Dragon, Watcher, Worm, Darkness, Scavenger, Wildman. Their powers are all really good. Not all, but pretty much all. If they have Untamed Allegiance, maybe not. I think they do. But other than that, does he have Untamed Allegiance? I don't think he would buy it, of course. No. I can't remember. Hombre has himself Fires of Doom, which is good. He's got Worm as well, of course. Aber still doesn't have a 25, or even a 15, it looks like. Is Undermine 15? Undermine's 10, isn't it? So he may be saving past the points for no reason? Unless I am incorrect. No, I'm not. Pretty sure Summon Men of... No, actually, Undermine might be a 15-point power. Never mind, it has to be a 10. Because he doesn't have a 10. So why is he saving up 25-point powers? The base of Z has pretty much been obliterated, though. Well, I've been jabbering about power points. Guardians with Siege Hammers, man. Guardians with Siege Hammers. Of course, Gloin is in there, too, I saw. With his Shake Foundation. And the base of Z has fallen. I think that's any hope of victory for the team over here. Team Viva, Viva Z. Z Viva. And I'm pretty sure the game is probably going to come to a close here pretty shortly. I have no doubts. It looks like Z does have some structures in Viva's base, but of course with an enemy attacking from the north and an enemy attacking from the other side, whether it be the south or the center, he will get sandwiched and die eventually. Oof. Brutal slam. Gloin and Gimli having a field day. There's a mountain giant here. Also some level 5 Men of Dale who do have black arrows. Because enemy monsters flee in terror. I think that works on giants. They're monsters, right? I mean, they clearly are, but I don't know if it works. Fortunately, though, he's going to let him sit there and die. That was an odd go from Drogoth. Brand and the Men of Dale are going to bring down a dragon once again. It very well may happen. The Men of Dale is definitely going to get him at the very least. And Drogoth does fall in a fireworks explosion. Lovely. Always nice to watch a Drogoth die. Even if it does suck for you. The person owning the Drogoth, of course. Not to mention he's an absolute fortune. It takes forever to come back. Gorkill and Azog are going to fall here easily. Gimli's in a level 3. Of course, once he gets level 5, he'll be a monster. And Hombre is raiding the base here of Viva with flying units. The Witch King and his cronies, Morgamir and Kamul, flying about in their Philly Beasts, doing damage. Well, they're still trying to defend it, at the very least. It looks like the Men of the West player has left the game, which of course would be Z, leaving Viva, the Men of the West troops there. So Viva is in control of Goblins and Men of the West. Only just, though. A little bit of each. And it looks like Aber and Hombre are tightening the noose. It's only a matter of time now. That should definitely make way for the final wave here. Didn't actually do as much damage as I'm sure they were hoping it would. Look at that. No health left on the thing, but it stands regardless. What's this? Summon Wildman. Interesting. Well, got rid of the Orc Archers at the very least, I guess. Not really the threat. But, what else can you do at that point, eh? Besides throw your powers that way and just die. Die with honor. Which seems to be what he's doing. So fair enough. But yeah, pretty good 2v2v2v2. Very interesting. Not every day you go into a game like this with random spots. That's pretty curious, to say the least. I don't know. I mean, that obviously benefited certain players a little more so. Although, in saying that, 2 players that weren't next to each other actually won the game. So, I guess if you think about it, they were at a disadvantage, but they still managed to make something out of it, which is pretty cool. Because I'd say, if you were next to your ally, you probably have an advantage of some description. And there goes the Earthquake, finishing it off and ending the match. Alright, very cool. That was a pretty nice match, I thought. Nice little game. And I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. So I will see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King Patch 2.2 version 6. See you all next time.